Again, today's reading is taken from 365, Science of Mind, A Year of Daily Wisdom from Ernest Holmes. Today's reading is from page 352, and it is entitled Illumination. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and be lifted up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. The gates that we have to open represent the place in our consciousness where the divine flows into the human. The light that the saintly artists of medieval times painted around people, particularly the halo, represents the lifting up of these gates. Illumination or cosmic consciousness is a reality. This is what Jesus referred to when he said, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven." Today I lift up my consciousness to the light, and I know the King of glory will come in. Today I keep this inner light, this candle of the Lord, trimmed and burning, for I know that the bridegroom, who is Christ, my true self, will enter my consciousness. I know that there is a divine radiance emanating from everything. I know that in this light, which emanates from the very center of everything, there is no darkness at all. In the light, I shall see the light. There can and does descend into our minds, embody and personify in our person a divinity, a unity, the Spirit of God, the direct incarnation of the original thing in us, the mystical presentation of Christ. Taken from the Science of Mind, page 341. And so I want to invite you to just relax where you are and allow those words to really wash over your internal beingness. Breathing gently and allowing yourself to lean into the presence. Breathing gently. Keep your attention on your breath. Where is your attention? Focus on the breath, allowing it to flow gently. So gently, ever so gently, turning your attention to your body, becoming more aware of the breath, the place that you are sitting, this sacred space called Centers for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore. Bringing yourself present to that, we just give thanks. We give thanks for this time together, for the opportunity to embody and personify the divine in and as us, for the listening, the gentleness, the love that radiates through each one of us as us. So we give thanks for this, and we know that this time has been good. And we bless the service that will follow. We bless our beloved Reverend Raymont Anderson, knowing that right where he is, God is. Knowing that every word that pours forth through him in the service to follow is good and amazing. And we give thanks for this. We give thanks for our time together, for the sacredness of the silence. And we simply allow ourselves to continue to be in the flow of God Almighty, all beauty, all joy, of love itself as each one of us. And simply allowing this time to be continuously sacred, we simply say together, and so it is. Amen.
Morning, everybody. This is a reminder to make the most of every day. There's no time like the present. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you by. Don't let this day pass you by. When I was young, I looked up at the tree I could become. I saw so many leaves upon those limbs, and it was effortless to reach inside infinity. So much time, there's no need to begin. Singing tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Singing tomorrow, don't lead me away. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you by. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you by. Don't let this day pass you by. La la da 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 da. It may seem like there's a lot of time to get it done. There's always something urgent in the way. But days will congregate in weeks and then in months, and soon you'll find your chances walked away. Singing tomorrow, tomorrow, tomorrow. Singing tomorrow, don't lead me away. Yeah. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you by. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you by. Don't let this day pass you by. You are here to make a difference, and the difference starts today. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you by. Sing along with me if you want to. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you by. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you by. Yeah, yeah. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you by. Don't let this day pass you by. La la da 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 da. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you. Don't let this day pass you by. Na da da da. Reverend Ray laughing is laughing at me. Woo! Good morning! I know you heard me, because I heard me. And that was a little loud. Today is the day to be happy. Why? Because it's today. Alrighty now. So, welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's virtual service. Woo! I am Tracy Rhymes, and I am your host for today. Wow. Our senior minister, Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, is our speaker today. Woo. Our musician, Sky Nelson, is up early to hang out and bless us. Serving as practitioner, the woman who led the pre-service meditation is Diane Stewart Hamlin. And our sign language interpreters, assisting with making this service open, inviting, and accessible to the deaf community are Ashley Goldman and Faith Moore. Holding things down, working behind the scenes, flying solo today is Frank. Woo! Thank you all for serving today. All right. Time for some prayer. Before Diane grounds us in prayer, let me share some things about her. Diane M. Stewart Hamlin, ALSP, RSCP, is a motivational speaker, author, licensed spiritual counselor, and life strategist. Diane has dedicated her life to teaching others to live wholly and fully. Diane has a breadth of experiences and training that enhances the way that she works with individuals and groups. Diane holds a Juris Doctor and Master of Business Administration degree. As a spiritual counselor, Diane is licensed by Agape International Spiritual Center and Centers for Spiritual Living. She is currently a ministerial student
the Michael Bernard Beckwith School of Ministry at Agape University. With more than 15 years of experience working in the human potential movement, Diane supports individuals and organizations to create breakthroughs and paradigm shifts to become grounded in principles that afford them the ability to accomplish their greater yet to be. Diane offers a wide range of tools and skills that help you to tap into your greatness and live life fully. Thank you, Diane.
So how grateful I am to be called to this place to anchor the truth. How grateful I am to be aware that God is God, always God, that there's only one power, one presence. That power and presence is the source of all creation, and everything has its beingness, its livingness, its existence in and as this power and presence. Grateful am I to turn my attention to this awareness that God is all there is. This power, this presence that holds everything in its exact place. This power, this presence that sources every blade of grass, every speck of dust, every single thing that exists in the universe. This power is sourcing me right here, right now. This is the power that is harmony, joy, peace, bliss, love, abundance, prosperity, circulation, and divine goodness. This power is love itself. And I'm grateful and thankful to know that I am sourced and fueled by it. And if I am sourced and fueled by it, then everyone everywhere is also sourced and fueled by this power and this presence. No one existing outside of it, no thing existing outside of it, because it is all there is. And each one of us on this sacred technology that we call Zoom, on this sacred remote service, everyone that hears it now or watches it later is a very much a part of this power and this presence, being sourced and fueled by it in harmony, love, bliss, joy, abundance, prosperity, peace. There is no aspect of this beingness that exists, none of us outside of its presence. So I'm giving thanks for this. I know that this service, therefore, is happening in the presence of all creation. It is the center of the universe right here, right now. So I bless this time together, this sacred time on this most magnificent technology, which is a creation of the divine, that allows us to be together no matter where we are. I bless this service. I name it good and very good. I bless our beloved Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, knowing that right where he is, God is love, is joy, is harmony, is peace, is abundance, prosperity, and divine circulation radiates in through and as him. So as he stands in the vortex of truth, I bless him knowing that everything that comes through him is the very divine goodness of God itself. And so the words are happening, speaking to each one of us that's hearing them, receiving them in love and light. This service is good and very good. And I am so grateful and thankful to stand in proxy and declare absolutely for each one of us that everything that we came to receive is being delivered through our beloved minister, Reverend Raymont. For this and so much more, I give thanks. And I simply allow this service to be a magnificent, wonderful unfoldment of God itself. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Diane. The Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's community honors the world's religions. One tree, many branches. One mountain, many paths. One world, many religions and spiritual traditions. With the lighting of these candles on the first Sunday of each month, we not only honor each person on their select path, but we also bless them and recognize the light, the love, and the life-affirming nature of spirit as it as it shows itself in each path, in each practice, and in each person. All right, I have some announcements for you. Currently, we have 2 weekly ongoing ways to study, learn, and discuss. Ooh, and there are some deep discussions that happen. Wednesday nights, the Science of Mind textbook exploration group. Might help. Which is facilitated by Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson. And on Thursday nights, the study group facilitated by Dr. Ronnie Ellington. There's this is your friendly reminder that the 2021 spiritual journals are in. You can get your copy today by going to shop.csl.org. Membership. Membership is important. If you are interested in becoming a member or renewing your membership, the Discovery class is available online. Easy peasy. Contact us at info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org for more information. Sign up for the CSLGB newsletter at www.cslgreaterbaltimore.org for more information. You can also subscribe to the CSLGB's YouTube page and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. And to do all of that, you visit the CSL Greater Baltimore and the CSLGB Facebook page for more news and information. All right. For those of you who are with us every Sunday, you know the drill. For those of you who are visiting and sharing and hanging out with us for the first time, I'm going to give a count to 3, and on 3, you say prayer works. Just as simple as that. You got it? All right, on a count of 1, on a count of 2, and 3. Prayer works. There you go. There you go. Now, we as a community continue to treat and move our feet, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Practitioners are available after today's service for one-on-one prayer. And if you can't hang out with us and stay, prayer requests can be sent at any time to info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org. Ooh. Now, Sky Nelson has won Songwriting and Performance Awards through the Positive Music Awards, West Coast Songwriters, as well as online competitions. As a prolific pianist, guitarist, and singer-songwriter, he has self-produced or co-produced 11 original albums, including the most recent unreleased Stand For Me. Sky is also an author and physicist studying the meaning behind life's funny coincidences. His first book, Living in Flow, The Science of Synchronicity and How Your Choices Shape Your World, was released by North Atlantic Books in 2019. His writings, research, and music can be found at www.skynelson.com. Do your thing, Sky.
So good to be here. I was delighted to find this song. So my new album, Stand For Me, is out. It's released. And this song, however, came to mind when I heard what the topic today was. And it's about over 10 years old. I decided to brush it off and bring it out because it's just a reminder of what we're talking about today. Lacks the pain that you thought would always stay. In the cells of your body, there's courage waking. Say the things that you know you need to say. Though the rising sun may be rising slowly, yeah. Edge of this dark age will see the day. Let love in your soul, let your spirit grow. Love will keep your outlook positive. Ego can get you down, twisting things around. That is just a lonely way to live. Gotta trust yourself to take and give. And all the things that you know may be just illusion. All the things that you see, they're just on top. So keep a positive landscape in your vision, yeah. And the good things that come will never stop. So let love in your soul, let your spirit grow. Love will keep your outlook positive. Ego can get you down, twisting things around. That is just a lonely way to live. You gotta trust yourself to take and trust yourself to take and trust yourself to take.
Trust yourself. Okay. Reverend Ray just shakes his head when I come out here ready to sing.
Because Sky does not need, it's not Sky Nelson and the Tracy Pips.
Yes, it is. He didn't tell you. Okay. All right. Whew. Thank you, Sky. All righty. Now, Diane will return and lead us in an spiritual practice.
Trust yourself to take and give. I'm singing for you, Tracy. Hey. Oh, goodness. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful song. So I want to continue in the practice that we started last week, which is sacred listening. And so I want to invite you to turn your inner ear to listen to this reading, which comes from The Art of Life, which was also previously published as This Thing Called Life by Ernest Holmes. And this reading comes from page 93, moving on to 94. If the gift of life is already made, then our part must be to accept, receive, believe in, and use it. Life has endowed our thought with creativeness. Through ignorance, we have brought about the very disasters we seek emancipation from. What then should we do? We should reverse the process. Just what does that actually mean? It means that we should carefully watch our thought world, straighten it out, correct it, re-educate it, until finally the subjective reactions of our thoughts, the automatic, mechanical, and habitual reactions of our thoughts, pass from a negative into an affirmative state. The law of life operates upon the images of our thoughts. If your thought is restricted and unhappy, you will be causing it to create restricting and unhappy circumstances. Only a 2-inch stream of water can flow through a 2-inch pipe. A gallon measure will hold but 4 quarts. This would be true even though you dipped your measure into the ocean. You are not limiting the ocean or causing it to be evil because you dip up 4 quarts instead of a barrel. The ocean has no desire to limit you. In a personal sense, it can only give you what you take. For taking is its givingness in the form of your taking. This is one of the greatest lessons of life. It is done unto you as you believe. So sitting in these words, really sitting in these words, we recognize that we can only take what we are willing to receive. We recognize that spirit is as the ocean, ready to provide to us whatever we desire. It can be a thimbleful, it can be a dipperful, it can be a gallonful. So we just stand in this awareness. And let these words really sink in. It is done unto me as I believe. And we sit with those words for just a moment. And we listen within the depths of our beingness, understanding the truth of it is done unto me as I believe. And so how grateful I am to recognize that what I believe can be changed. It can be changed simply because I train my thinking to respond differently. How grateful I am to know that this truth that speaking right here, right now, is the truth of God itself. That there is no aspect of who and what I am that hears nothing that's separate from the Word of God itself, the Word of creation. Grateful I am to know that in knowing that it is done unto me as I believe, that my belief system can be changed as I listen to the sacred teachers who come before us to speak the word. That I can shift and understand and have more done to me than I have ever imagined in love and light, have more goodness happening to me than ever before. How grateful I am to know that this is absolute truth. That the power and the presence of all creation sits right where I sit, and it sits right where each person on this Zoom technology sits, including and especially right here and right now, Reverend Raymont, who is coming forth to allow the word of all creation to pour itself through him, so we, each one of us, can shift what we believe and allow something new, bigger, greater, grander, to be done unto us. How grateful I am for this time, this moment, the sacred practice of sacred listening. To allow each one of us to receive more than we even imagined coming into this space called Centers for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore. How good it is to speak this word, to know that each one of us have inclined our ear to listen for the very first time. To words of all creation as they pour forth through our willing minister. So I bless this time, I bless this service. It is already good. It has already been blessed. These words from this reading has poured itself all over us, and we are open and receptive to all that should happen. For each one of us will get an individualized lesson today. I am grateful for this and so much more. And as we take a few more moments just to allow ourselves to settle into the listening vortex of love, of peace, of receptivity. It is good and very good. Simply together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Diane. Are you ready? Get ready. 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 Okay, I'm done. This is the only opportunity I get to sing publicly. Okay. Reverend Dr. Raymont Anderson, Senior Minister for the Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Baltimore, has frequently been referred to as a Renaissance man. One look at his resume and the reason becomes clear. As a lifelong learner with a passion for self-development, personal transformation, transmutation, and self-awakening, he lives his bliss as a teacher, mentor, speaker, minister, and so much more. His mission is to live, move, and be an active, that's an acronym, authentic, compassionate, transparent, inspired, vibrant, and empowered member of society who serves to educate, elucidate, emancipate, awaken, and empower people and communities. You know I gotta say it for Minister Mo. Reverend Rev, come and do what you do as you do what you do. Do it.
Yes, yes.
De nada.
Good morning, everyone. So, is everyone, what is the word? Recovered from your turkey or tofurkey or chicken or whatever it is you did, your gluten-free duck, whatever it is you did? Have you recovered from your Thanksgiving Day festivities and food intake, etc.? Are you ready for Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa? Are you ready for New Year's? Are you ready for 2020 to be over? Tracy's like, yeah. This is a trick question, though. And the reason I'm asking is because, so we're diving this last.
Dana said, no, I haven't collected my plate yet.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So today we're ending this month with the theme being a conduit of compassion. And today we're talking about the idea of what it means to be a grateful and cheerful receiver. And normally when we hear that term, grateful and cheerful giver is what we're normally, we hear it often, whether you grew up in a Christian household or not, or grew up in that theology or not. We hear it from a lot of folks. We hear it in terms of, God loves a cheerful giver. Now pass the plate. Like we're used to, if you grew up like I grew up, then you're used to that being the specific reference of how it's used. But clearly that's not where we're coming from today. So today, the theme says, often people reference being a cheerful giver, which is found in 2 Corinthians 9, verses 6 and 7. But as we know from the law of circulation, giving and receiving is reciprocal. It is the ebb and flow, the yin and yang. It is as you give, so you receive, and vice versa. We move from simply living or surviving to thriving when we accept that we are both in the flow and as the flow, and that God gives to itself as each of its incarnating forms. So pause and take that in. We are an incarnation of the one. There's only one. And so anytime we see other incarnations, any other representations of, it is still only one. And so when God gives, quote unquote, it is ultimately God giving to itself. God receiving to itself. But the question for today is, what kind of receiver are we being? What kind of receiver are we being on any given day, at any given moment? Ernest Holmes says in The Science of Mind, the universe is impersonal. It gives alike to all. It is no respecter of persons. It values each alike. Its nature is to impart, ours to receive. Now, pause for a second, because I know it may be the temptation to anthropomorphize that and hear it or receive it in a different way, may be the temptation, but let's say the nature of God is to impart and its nature is to receive. Because if we are what it is and our nature is to receive, then that means this incarnation of the One, its nature is to also receive. As above, so below. So that which is the allness of the absolute, its nature is also our nature. Our nature, therefore, must also be to give and to receive. When we stand in the light, we cast a shadow across the pathway of our own experience. Emerson advises us that we should get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuits. Our bloated nothingness. We're going to talk a little bit about that because I can see the look on some of y'all's faces. At least I can see the look on Tracy's face. So in order to talk about this, though, we have to get really, 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 really honest about what this even means. Bloated nothingness? Get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circuits? What does that even mean? Yeah, Tracy's like, what is that? What is that? I don't know what that means. Well, it means, yeah, that. Yes, all of that and more. But, yes, we don't just stop there because the idea is there's an acronym coming. But in order for us to really get our stuff out of the way, get our bloated nothingness out of the way, we have to be willing to tell the truth. We have to be willing to reveal the truth. We have to be willing to stand in the truth and stand as representations of the truth. So this bloated nothingness that we are referring to, if we don't get it out of the way and it hits the fan, then all manner of things break loose. And that's when, like Diane said, what do? You go to the ocean with a thimble and you curse the ocean because it's not giving you more? Well, you only got a thimble size. You got a soup dipper. That's all you're going to be able to get is what you took a soup dipper, that you're going to get a soup dipper's worth. You took a thimble, you get a thimble's worth. So don't be mad. Don't curse the darkness because you won't turn the light on. If we don't get our bloated nothingness out of the way, then stuff is going to hit the fan. We are going to find places and reasons to other folks and suffer and all kind of other stuff. Like we're going to be miserable because we know that there's a part of us that wants to expand and receive and be joyful and grateful, but because that bloated nothingness is blocking the circuits, then we're not able to fully engage. As Sky said, you're going to let the day pass you by. You're going to let the opportunities pass you by. You're letting the gifts and stuff pass you by because you're not in a state of presence, a state of consciousness to be able, because the bloated nothingness is what's in the way. The bloated nothingness of, I can't have, I'm not worthy of. But let's talk about our acronym, because when that hits the fan, because we don't think our stuff smells, the S, self-absorbed. It's all about me. It's what I want, and it's got to be the way I want it. And anytime we are self-absorbed, it's I, me, and that's it. Then that's bloated nothingness. Holier than thou. I'm superior, even if that means I see myself as inferior. My self-righteous judgments and attachments. So think about this. When someone tells you, wow, you're such a good artist. No, I'm not. That's holier than thou. They're telling you you're a great artist, but you're so superior that their compliment, you're wrong. I know me. I am not a good artist. I'm okay. No, seriously, I said I'm okay. I mean, I'm not bad, but I'm certainly not good. Oh, okay. Someone once said that if you argue for your limitations, if you argue for your butt, then you get to keep it. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. The average person is not going to wrestle you out of your self-absorbed, holier-than-thou state of being. Immaturity. I prefer the ignorance is bliss mantra rather than the maturity to change my life and evolve. And the unwillingness to be uncomfortable and not know. See, there's a lot of times when things in life are going to make us uncomfortable. And we avoid that. What's it called? Spiritual bypass. What's it called? Spiritual malpractice. Rather than being uncomfortable, we do all manner of linguistic juggling and sacred Rubik's Cube, twist, 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 turn, 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 twist, 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 to try to maneuver and manipulate however we're going to so that we don't have to be uncomfortable. But the gift is oftentimes in the discomfort. The ability to have a courageous conversation is precisely where the gift occurs. That's where the transformation occurs. But if we're going to choose ignorance over the bliss that comes from healing, the bliss that comes from truth, then this whole mantra of, I'd rather not know. I'd rather not know that I have a cavity. Tracy.
Go to the dentist.
Go to the dentist. But I'd rather not know, so I'm going to avoid the dentist. I'd rather not know, so I'm going to avoid meditation. I'd rather not know, so I'm not going to listen to any prayers or treatments. I'd rather not know, because the moment I know, then I am called to shift, change, evolve, and grow. The moment I now know that I've been going to the river, the ocean, with a thimble, I'm now challenged. Do I accept the thimble's worth? Or do I upgrade to a bucket? Do I upgrade to a pipeline? Do I upgrade and jump into the ocean and be immersed in it? But I have to know before I can do that. I have to know that I've been going with a thimble. I have to know that I've been going only with a soup dipper. And sometimes we don't want to know, because the moment we know, we're now invited to change. Tyranny. It's easier for me to manipulate others with guilt, shame, and other covert narcissistic tools, which I may or may not even be aware that I'm using. But nonetheless, it's easier for me to manipulate the things, the people, circumstances. It's easier for me to make my children feel guilty about not talking to me than to just communicate in a nonviolent manner. This is what I desire. I would like to hear from you more often. I would like to speak to you more often. I would like to have conversations about deep intellectual, spiritual, theological things. I would like to, rather than do that, I manipulate it. I get guilt and shame. Is that really? That's tyranny. And anytime we employ these things, then we are allowing our bloated nothingness to be in the way. Is that really what we want to do? There's the question. Because if we want to receive, and we want to receive as grateful, cheerful, prosperous receivers, then this stuff must fade away. It must move back into the no thingness from whence it came. It must move out of the predominant forefront of our minds. Any of these. I'm not saying it has to be all of them, because not all of us employ all of these. But if we employ any of them, then it's our invitation to shift and let it go. So this thing where the lungs and the diaphragm expand and contract, what is this called? Exactly.
Breathing.
Tracy said breathing. But keep in mind, breathing is not just inhaling, nor is breathing just exhaling. Breathing is both and. Breathing or respiration is the process of taking air into and the process of expelling air from the lungs. See, we often think of this give, give, give. Inhale, inhale, inhale. As a one-sided thing. Or actually it's the opposite. If I'm giving, I am exhaling. Am I? Or when I inhale, am I giving my body the nutrients through the oxygen? And then when I'm exhaling, I am giving...
Us.
I am giving nutrients to nature. I'm giving nutrients to the trees and the grass and the plants. Because what we exhale, they inhale. So the process of receiving is also in the process of giving. Once again, keep in mind, it's an ebb and a flow. It's not a one-side or a one-sided thing. It's a both and, not an either or. So we just had this holiday the other day called Thanksgiving. And many folks celebrate it through the art of eating. Family time. But how many of us really give thanks? And I don't just mean saying thank you. And I don't just necessarily mean, doing a thankful prayer. I mean, really, how many of us give thanks? Recognizing that if we are giving it, then we are also open to happy thanks receiving. We are also open to receiving thanks. When I was growing up in Pittsburgh, one of the things my mother would hang up around Thanksgiving, eventually she got to the point where she would leave it up, but she would put this thing up, and God bless the cook. Thanks to the cook. Like, as a reminder, I'm cooking all this stuff for y'all ungrateful folks. Y'all better say thank you. But ultimately, she wanted more than just us saying thank you. She wanted us to be thankful. That in the gratitude that we felt, she would feel our gratitude in the hug or in the words or in the way that we enjoyed the food. Because see, when we can both give thanks and receive thanks, then it's not just about giving or receiving, it's about living. It's about living in a state of gratitude. And when we live in a state of gratitude, then it's far easier to express a compliment or receive a compliment. As you give, you receive. As you receive, you give. So what inspires you to feel gratitude, and what inspires you to express gratitude? If they are one and the same, the ebb and the flow, the inhale and exhale, then what inspires you and motivates you to give a kind word, to give a thankful word, an appreciative word, as well as to receive it? Because oftentimes we know that the moment someone offers us a compliment or a kind word of praise, someone offers us an opportunity to help, an opportunity to support, an opportunity to be there, and we, like somebody fending off Count Dracula, we will grab a crucifix and a thing of garlic and be like, no, I shall not receive this compliment. I refuse. I am used to doing things by myself, and I will continue to be a lone soldier marching forward onward marching soldiers. I will do it by myself. That's not how the song goes. It's not how the song goes. But we sing it like that's the way it goes. I must do it all alone because you might hurt my feelings. You might tell me that you'll help me, but you won't help me. You'll say you will, and you'll say you'll see me Monday, but you never show up. So then I'm stuck doing it by myself anyway. So I don't even want your help. I'm going to just do it by myself anyway. I'm a perfectionist anyway. If it's going to get done right, it can only be done by me anyway. That's not different. That's just... You can't live off of just an inhale. At some point, you have to exhale. At some point, because all that we are is God, and God's nature is to impart and to receive, then ours is not simply to give, do, but to receive help, support, to receive feedback, to receive a compliment, to receive a kind word, to receive praise, to receive love and appreciation, to receive a blessing, to receive, to be able to get. What did Diane say in the Art of Life? She said, to accept, to receive, to believe, and to utilize. I believe those were the right order, right words in the right order. So we have to accept it and receive it, believe it, and to utilize it. Are we willing to accept the kind words? Are we willing to accept the blessings? Are we willing to accept the gifts that God is, Spirit is, imparting and offering each one of us? There's a story in the Bible where Jesus had his feet washed by a young woman, and the disciples kirked off. They were like, oh, no, he didn't. And she's using oil. You know what we could have, do you know the current investment rate for that kind of oil and what we could have done with that oil? Do you not know that that's a $78 thing of Chanel number 5 that she's using to wash it? What in the waste? It's a waste. They were not able to receive the blessing that they could have received in observing this act of selflessness, this act of getting her bloated nothingness out of the way and his bloated nothingness out of the way, to simply be the receiver and the giver in the same act. We don't go outside on a hot day and feel a cool breeze and be like, don't you touch me, cool breeze. I just want to be hot and sweaty. We don't go outside after a storm and see a rainbow and be like, damn you, rainbow, for being so beautiful in the sky. I curse you and your beautifulness. We don't do that. We marvel at the way the rose opens, the way the rainbow shines, the way the cool air hits our face on a hot, humid day. We receive Tracy's laughing at me. We receive the blessing. That's no different. Do we not understand when we say that God is all there is? It's everywhere present. There is not a place where God is, God's in that place 10%, but over there, God is there at 90%. Let's go more into the 90% range. If God exists anywhere, then it exists everywhere in its full entirety all the time. And so if its nature is to impart, and ours is to not receive, do we recognize that a failure or an inability or a refusal to accept a blessing anywhere at any time affects our ability to receive blessings any other time? I mean, let's pause for a moment and think about this. Sky sang a song and said, "Don't let today pass you by." Well, why? Why did he not say, "Don't let tomorrow pass you by"? Oh, because you're not in tomorrow. Don't forget, don't let yesterday pass. Well, you're not in yesterday, you're in today. So the only moment you have is now. Oh, so in the same way that I can't breathe a breath for tomorrow, I can't receive tomorrow's blessings. I can't receive tomorrow's compliments. I can only receive the compliments and the blessings and the breath of today, of this moment. So if I am refusing to receive the help that is being offered to me in this moment, then I am refusing. I'm refusing to allow the nature of spirit to do what it does, to impart, to give, to support itself. I am refusing to allow myself to embody the full nature of God in that moment because I am saying no. No spirit, no consciousness, no divine beingness that I am. I refuse to allow you to evolve. I refuse to allow you to shift into your greater yet to be. I refuse. Stay small. Stay self-absorbed. Stay holier than thou. Stay immature. Stay in your tyranny. Stay in that space so you cannot become that which you are as a spiritually divine, magnificent being. No. No, how dare you go to the ocean and expect to get more than a tablespoon or a teaspoon? How dare you expect to receive multiple blessings without limit? How dare you expect to be healthy or rich or well or love? How dare you? The moment we say no to anything, we're saying no to everything. Period. Because there's only this moment. And if I am unwilling to receive the blessing in this moment that I am being offered, then I am also refusing to receive my ability to be a blessing to someone else. Because if God's nature is to impart and ours is to receive, then the moment God, as that person, offers me, imparts upon me a kind word, a blessing, praise, a compliment, an offer to help or support, and I say no, then I have stepped outside of the paradigm or the consciousness of allowing myself to bless them in their offering. Because their blessing is in the ability to give. And I am denying them that blessing as well. I am stagnating the ebb and the flow. I am cutting off the intake of oxygen. And we know that if the oxygen flow is cut off for a certain amount of time, the cells begin to atrophy, they begin to die. The brain cells die. Because we need the inflow of oxygen. We need respiration to feed the body. Well, if the inflow and outflow of giving and receiving a kind word, a blessing, a compliment, an offering of help, an offering of support is no different than breathing, the inflow and the outflow, the giving and the receiving, the in the flow and as the flow itself, and I say no, then I'm holding my breath. How many of us have had children and they're so mad at us, they're like, you either give me the candy or I'm not going to breathe again. We're like, you're not going what? I'm not going to breathe.
Okay.
To which Tracy said, okay, we're going to see how. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they gasped. Why? Because it is the nature of the body to breathe. It is the nature of God to impart, to receive, to give, to receive, to ebb, and to flow. So why cut it off? Why deny it? Why refuse to bless and be a blessing? Rhonda Byrne says, love is appreciating, complimenting, feeling gratitude, and speaking good words to others. It takes courage to compliment, not to criticize. To see good, not bad. To create, not destroy. To understand, and not judge. Remember what I said earlier about this idea of having courageous conversations, and that place of being uncomfortable, that courage is the ability to go into those, because see, it's easy to criticize people. It's easy. It's why so many people do it, because it's easy. But it's uncomfortable sometimes, because sometimes we're like, well, what if I tell them I like the sweater, and then they're like, okay, who are you? Or this old thing? And then it's like, oh, snap, I should have kept my mouth shut. So oftentimes we don't say anything. But it takes courage to compliment. It takes courage to see the good. It takes courage to create. It takes courage to understand. It takes courage to love. No matter what's going on, it takes courage. It takes a willingness to get our bloated nothingness out of the way. It takes courage. These are the one on the right-hand side, the one with the colorful pencils. It's something that some elementary... It's my right.
Okay.
Thank you. It's my right. It's your left. The one with the colorful pencils, elementary school teachers often give this to elementary school students to teach them how to give a compliment. When you're in the playground, when you're in the cafeteria, when you're with your friends, I like how you draw that. You're so good at baseball. Nice work showing how helpful you can be to Mr. Brown. It's how do we start to engage in the practice of giving compliments. Giving a variety of compliments, giving a variety of kind words to others. Free compliments, take one. Make someone smile today. You inspire me.
Aww.
You have a gorgeous smile.
Aww.
You amaze me. There are so many ways that we can, simply in the act of sharing a blessing with another, change and transform everything. How do we create a world that works for all? By shifting the energy. By refusing to let another day pass us by. By refusing to let today. By refusing to let this moment. By refusing to let this breath. By refusing to let this blessing, this gratitude, this appreciation, this gift, by refusing to let this pass us by receiving what this moment is offering, by receiving what this blessing is offering, by receiving the love and the courage that this moment is offering. That's how we shift it. It's how we change it. It's how we transform it. Jesse Jennings said in the book, The Essential Ernest Holmes, all people seek some relationship to the universal mind, the oversoul, or the eternal spirit, which we call God. And life reveals itself to whoever is receptive to it. You've heard me often say that Ernest Holmes would remind us that the only God we would ever truly know is the one that we embody. And we can only embody it by receiving, by being receptive to it. Because it is already what we are. But the moment we start allowing paradigms, consciousness, bloated nothingness, that acronym, by letting it be what's dominating our mind, then we are no longer allowing ourselves to be receptive. We are no longer allowing ourselves to simply be in a space of receptivity. I receive this breath. I receive the sunlight. I receive this beautiful music. I receive this beautiful prayer. I simply receive. And in the receiving, I am changed. And in the changing, I can give from this new, higher, more elevated place. I now become a philanthropist of spirit. I am a multi-trillionaire in my spiritual inheritance, and I give from the overflow of this trillion, zillion, beyond number amount of godliness. And it's from that bank account, from that infinite wellspring that I can give. But if I'm denying myself of that by saying, yeah, lack, scarcity, nothing, can't, not good enough, like I'm letting all of that be the dominant thing. For those of us who may remember, there was a song, if you remember this, gloom, despair, and agony on me. Deep, dark depression, excessive misery. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Gloom, despair, and agony on me. Really? That's the mantra that you're singing every week? Wow. But we do it. And the moment we do it, then our bloated nothingness clearly must be in the way. We are simply breathing shallow breaths instead of being able to take the full expanse of the breath, instead of going to the ocean and immersing ourselves in it, instead of being the open conduits for all that God is, showing itself in, through, and as every aspect of our being. Today's application and practice. Identify 3 things that are difficult for me to receive. What's difficult for you to receive? Is it difficult? Or you compliments? Yeah, I don't do compliments very well. Assistance? Yeah, I don't like people helping me. Feedback? Yeah, keep your mouth to yourself. Keep your mouth to yourself. Stay in your lane. I don't need your feedback. But it's constructive. It's not negative feedback. It's constructive. Yeah, keep it to yourself. Because if you give it to me, I'm going to be challenged to change, and I don't want to change. Why are you laughing at me? Second, you over there. What can I do this week to change this and invite and receive? What can I do this week that is an open invitation to receiving? Can I ask someone for a compliment? Like, that's a bold thing. Tracy, if you do not mind, would you give, like, well, what if the person says no? Then they said no, ask somebody else. It's like when you were at your high school prom or school dance and you went up to one person and said, excuse me, would you like to dance with me? No. Okay, excuse me, no. Sooner or later, somebody gonna dance with you, and if they don't, then dance by yourself. Give yourself a compliment then. But are you willing to ask someone for a compliment and give to another what you yourself want? Give compliments. Give from the well that can never run dry. Give compliments because it's what you want to receive. How many times have we heard people say, well, if you want friends, then be a friend. Be what it is that you want. Demonstrate it, and others will act accordingly. Am I willing to do that this week? What do I give easily, but I myself have a difficult time accepting for myself? Where do I think that originates, and am I willing to change it? Like some of us, we don't mind helping other folks, but we don't want to be helped. We don't mind giving to other folks. Like I will give you a birthday gift, a Christmas gift, an Easter gift, a Thanksgiving gift, a Halloween gift, a St. Patrick's Day gift. I will give you gifts, and I will give you a gift just because it's Monday. But I don't know, I'm good. I'm good. Don't give me anything. Just your smile is enough. But I want to give you this. No, but it's okay. No. Keep it to yourself. Like it's easy for me to give, but I can't receive. And then lastly, what can I do to balance my ability to give and to receive equally? What practice can I start engaging in so that I can be in the flow and as the flow itself, the infinite inhale and exhale of spirit breathing itself as me? What can I do to encourage, to be in alignment with that balance? And we breathe. This week's declaration and affirmation, it's a long one. So I will read it first, then together. I thrive because my body, mind, and heart are open to ever-present, ever-flowing goodness, givingness. of the universe. And I know that it flows in, through, and as me. Little air freshener things just spurted and I'm breathing it in.
Okay.
I know that it flows in, through, and as me, and I am eternally participating in the reciprocal ebb and flow. As I give, I receive, and as I receive, I give.
Here.
Tracy giving me water. Together as a group, let's affirm. Are you ready?
Ready.
Together, I thrive because my body, mind, and heart are open to ever-present, ever-flowing goodness, givingness of the universe, and I know that it flows in, through, and as me, and I am eternally participating in the reciprocal ebb and flow. As I give, I receive, and as I receive, I give. And then it's in this state, this consciousness, this divine energy of receiving that we now avail ourselves to receive, once again, the musical gift of the love in song, the upliftment that Sky is about to gift us with, present us with, and so we receive all of the love, all of the joy, all of the magic that he is giving us. Thank you, Sky.
Hey everybody, wow, what a great message. What a great message. I'm going to play a song by Eddie Watkins Jr. called Get Out of the Way. Running around fixing this and that, giving it up to God, then taking it back. Just release, let it go. You don't even have to think about it no more. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way, let God do a thing. You look like the weight of the world's on your back. Just take a deep breath and cut yourself some slack. All that drama ain't good for you. You couldn't change what is if you wanted to. Get out of the way. Get out of the way. Get out the way, let God do a thing. Sun's gonna shine, the river's gonna flow, the tide's gonna rise without your say-so. The universe is working and good is flowing. You don't plant a seed and dig it up to see if it's growing. Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Get out the way, let God do a thing. Get out of the way! Get out of the way! Get out the way, let God do a thing.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes. Put your hands together once again for Sky. Yes. Woo! Tracy was over there dancing. Let me not, because I was dancing too. let me not fake the funk, because Reverend Ray was dancing too. Yes, as well as others. I saw some other folks on the video dancing too. Mm-hmm. So at this moment, we go into that sacred practice of tithing, offering, donating practicing what it means to give back to the place where you are spiritually fed, knowing that CSL Greater Baltimore is planning, intending, visioning what this beloved community already is, but what it can be and is becoming, especially as we move into 2021 soon. Like, what does it mean for CSL Greater Baltimore to expand? What does it mean to have classes and a youth ministry and music ministry and acting, theater ministry and an art ministry and all of these other things where we are actively engaging in the greater Baltimore area and beyond? Like, there is no reason why, because we already have people tuning in from all over. Sky's coming in from California, so clearly we have the capacity to reach California. We had folks tune in from Jamaica before, so clearly we have the capacity to reach, right? So this community, what does it mean for us to expand? What does it mean for us to bring this teaching to the greater Baltimore area? What does it mean for us to stand in and be what we are as practitioners of, people who study and practice the science of mind and spirit? For those who may not know, let me tell you, but for everybody else, let me remind you that the practitioners have pledged, on top of their regular tithing, to pledge to give an additional $5,000 to CSL Greater Baltimore by the end of the year, and at present the number is $4,572.50. The community matching that has at this moment reached $1,100. And keep in mind that we have another donor who said that whatever the community matches, they will match it as well, up to $5,000. So if the community matches $2,000, then this person will match $2,000 as well. So let's just anchor to what it means to participate in this. What does it mean to give where we're spiritually fed? What does it mean to sow seeds into your beloved community? 3 ways to do so: PayPal, text messaging, and the postal mail. You can always write in the memo if you want to divide your offering to go to different aspects of the center: the new building fund, the emergency care fund, youth ministry, like whatever it is, however you want your money to go, or you simply leave it blank and the Board of Trustees is being trusted into doing what they do by being exemplary stewards of, magnificent stewards of all that comes in and all that goes out, so that CSL Greater Baltimore is demonstrating what it means to be in the flow and as the flow itself and aligned with that which God is. For more information, go to the website, cslgreaterbaltimore.org/giving, or contact anyone on the board. Our prosperity declaration.
Well,
If you are ready to declare this with me, and this is not just declaring this for the center. I had this conversation with someone earlier, last week, before Thanksgiving. This declaration is your individual declaration as well as what you are declaring for the center. Because as you show up and show out as a divine manifestation of, incarnation of the One, then your beloved community has no choice but to shine magnificently as well. So this is an individual declaration, what you are claiming and receiving for yourself as well as for your community. Together, I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talent, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. Pause and breathe. Because recognize that we could easily say, I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved family, as I sow into my own beloved life, as I sow into my place of employment, as I sow into every aspect of my being, I demonstrate this awareness. We cannot be single, myopic, individual lives when we recognize that we are the incarnation of the infinite power and presence that we call God, the one mind, life itself. So how we show up anywhere ultimately is how we show up everywhere. And when we show up recognizing that this declaration is the declaration of truth for our individual selves, then when we go wherever we go, we know that this declaration is what is moving through and in and as us. And we breathe. So it's this time of service that Tracy reminds us to make today an awesome day. Do not let the awesomeness of today pass us by.
Nope.
Fine. If you don't immediately see the awesomeness of your day, the magnificence of your day, the beauty of today, then the invitation is find it. It's somewhere. There's beauty everywhere. The infinite spirit that is God is everywhere.
You got to see me today.
Tracy said you got to see her today, so there's one piece of find a way to make today an awesome day. Carpe diem. Seize the day.
Seize the day.
Reminder, we have Diane available for 1 Minute Miracles. We might have other practitioners, I'm unsure, but we definitely have Diane available for 1 Minute Miracles immediately after service, which is in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
So if you are desiring to have prayer with a practitioner, one-on-one spiritual mind treatment, Tracy said type into the prayer box.
Go ahead and type it in the prayer box.
Type it in that prayer box.
Type it in that prayer box. We'll find you.
Type it in the chat box. Prayer. And Tracy will create the breakout rooms and put you with a practitioner for prayer. Other than that, blessings, be well, simply anchoring in this awareness of knowing that the infinite power and presence of God is all there is. And knowing that it is all there is, then it must be showing up exactly right where I am. And because it is all there is, then it must be showing up in, through, and as everyone on this Zoom call, everyone who watches on Facebook, everyone who watches later on YouTube, because time does not matter in spirit. So the moment that it is watched and listened to is the right, perfect, and divine moment. So I anchor in this divine power of right now. The divine power of evolutionary impulse, the divine influx of God, the divine influx of life itself, showing itself in this breath, this ebb and flow, showing itself in these words, in this vibration. God is all there is. Love is all there is. It is all there is. And so in gratitude, I anchor to this, knowing that every person watching, that the wholeness, the perfection, and the completeness of their being as God in the flesh is demonstrating, is manifesting, that they are reaping the harvest of this infinite power and presence that is their own spiritual magnificence, that this world that works for all is showing up in, through, and as each individual life, each individual world, each individual consciousness, each individual way of being in the world as an artist, as a teacher, as a musician, as a leader, that God is present in, through, and as all. And it is from the overflow that we give. It is from the overflow that we receive. It is from the overflow of an infinite power and presence that we be who and what we are. Anchored in gratitude, I know it is done. I know it is so. And together we declare it by saying, and so it is.
And so
Blessings to all. Love you all.
Blessings.
Have an amazing rest of November. And I'll see you back in December. And I'll see some of y'all in class on Wednesday. Love you.
See you, Sky.